Hello, friends, and my computer crashed again, so we're doing this again. This is another book review that I wanted to do. I wanted to touch on this one for a while now because this one I absolutely loved. So, spoilers for the rankings at the end. You're going to see high numbers here. But we're going to be covering Where the Devil Says Goodnight. It's the first book in the folklore series. There's only two out that I checked on Amazon because I did look this one up. I haven't read the second one, but it's by K.A. American, and they're a writing group, writing duo. I'm not sure how many people are in there, but it's definitely not just one person from what Amazon has told me. So, as per usual, we're going to go through some story overviews and some spoilers ahead. So, feel free to skip this video if you have any interest in reading it. Even the genre, erotic content themes kind of are listed on the back of the book as potential spoilers or possible spoilers. So, bear that in mind. I will be covering the story. I won't be going through every nitty gritty detail, though, but I will be covering the intro, a little bit what happens in the middle, and then the ending. Not really the ending, though, because I really want you guys to read this for yourself, but I will cover like the beginning and the characters and some of the tropes and stuff. So we'll go through all that as we proceed in this review here. Sorry, I don't know how it skipped, but so as far as the story overview goes, Adam, who we're introduced to first in the very beginning, is a Catholic priest who is caught with a dirty magazine under his bed, and as punishment gets sent off to a remote town as punishment. Yes, I put that twice. So he is introduced, and we meet his family in the very, very beginning, his mother and father. They have also been a familiar place in this town. It's sorry, I can't say this. It's Dybukowo, Dybukowo. No idea if I'm saying that right, but they are there. They are involved with the town, or had been involved with the town, and that's where Adam was originally conceived, despite his parents trying and not having any luck. In the next chapter, we do meet Emil, who is the outcast of the town, still following old Slavic magical practices along with the rest of the town, but he is definitely viewed as the dark horse, the black sheep of the entire town. He works a lot of odd jobs. People comment on his sexual escapades, if you will, and he is openly flirting with Adam once Adam kind of gets established as a priest. But the first day when Adam arrives, he is not well received by the town. He doesn't get a lot of assistance from the sleepy small town that you would think you would get. So he manages to get to the church with the help of Emil and Emil's horse. And from there, it kind of, it's a meet cute, sure, but it also goes into a little bit more than that. Adam is kind of tasked with assisting Emil and bringing him back into the fold of the church, because he's the only one who doesn't really show up. And kind of throughout the story, we're sensing a dark force that's plaguing Adam, and Adam starts questioning it if it's really in his head, if it's caused by the town, Emil, or a combination of the three, if it's in his head, or if it's Emil and whatnot. And then, as mentioned before, Adam's family and parents have a secret of the town, or share a secret with the town, that Adam isn't aware of and doesn't really kind of understand until most of the way through the book. I mean, the parents explain it, and the mom even is vehemently against him going to the town in the very, very beginning because of what she knows happens here and how he was conceived. So it's a very dark story. I enjoyed it for what it is, though, and it's a happily ever after ? It's not touted as an HEA, but it's definitely got some good things going for it. So let's get into some characters real quick. Adam, gonna butcher his last name, Kiwatowski, and Emil Slowik are the two main love interests. There's a couple of, I would say, maybe four main supporting cast who I didn't really feel like needed to be added here because they add stuff, but I don't have much to say about them as much as I do here. Even with these two, Adam is definitely resilient and inquisitive. He is kind of going with the flow. He understands that he fucked up at the main city church when he had the magazine. He even tried to pass the buck as it's just a prank by the kids, but he kind of admits to himself no, this is what I'm really into, and I feel bad for it. I feel like I should be celibate and not indulge, and it's sinful, all these kind of stuff. So he is resilient, and he tries to stick to his faith, but he's also a little bit inquisitive. He's trying to figure out what the town is doing to him, and also what Emil might be doing to him. And he's, exploring as he needs to, going to the forest, going to the church and exploring the church a bit. Some of the things I didn't quite like about Adam was that he's stubborn and disrespectful to the town's religion. He's stubborn in his ways of being a good old Catholic boy, but when it comes to like the town who integrates Catholicism and their own pagan rituals, he's very against the pagan rituals and thinks it's just going to lead him down a path of sin. When like the bishop or whoever is ahead of him, I don't know what the titles are in the Catholic Church, I'm not from the church, support it. They support the things that they do in town. They have like not the maypole, but something akin to the maypole, where it's like a town celebration out by the lake, and they have, you know, a bonfire, potluck kind of situation, and it's a lot of fun. It sounds like a grand old time. And then Emil, on the other hand, is caring, compassionate, and self-sacrificing. He is, not to spoil too much, he is, like I said, the outcast of the town, but because he is willing to do the self-sacrificing action, he stays in the town despite the town's kind of reluctance to even associate with him. He's a bit hot-headed and combative at times with regards to Adam and his relationship with Adam, and the reason Adam is hesitant to getting into an official relationship due to Adam's status and role in the church. But I do feel like Emil's a little bit of a pushover at times, just like kind of laying down and letting the town just kind of like, you know, talk shit about him and kind of push him around and kind of make him feel like shit about himself. So that's something I found a little bit kind of questioning when, you know, I understand Emil's reasoning for doing it, but it just felt like, you know, given what he was doing for the town, it felt a bit strange that he was just willing to take all the kind of shit that they threw at him, you know? Let's go into some tropes, though. So, again, spoilers. I'm going to be talking about these. I didn't want them in text in case you actually want to listen to my voice. So the ending has a lot to do with possession, specifically of the demons / the old gods. So this is not going to spoil the plot, but Adam's conception, Emil and Adam's relationship, not necessarily the relationship, but the two pair of them are intertwined in this issue or situation between possession within the old gods that the town kind of worship, if you will. And then her comfort. Adam and Emil are perfect for each other despite their blockheaded ways. Adam, being new to town, doesn't have a lot of people to kind of talk to. Emil kind of fills that role. And Emil has a lot of baggage he's dealing with regards to the town and his family and his grandmother that Adam, you know, kind of helps Emil with, but doesn't necessarily immediately solve. You can't bring back the dead. But the other two themes that I was like kind of surprised to find is, you know, the whole witchcraft occult. From the beginning, the book whole revolves around this, from the mom describing the conception of Adam as, you know, impossible due to the father being sterile, essentially, to the whole town being into the occult, and even the cover of the book. You know, you have the stone or the stick kind of figure in the middle where it says "where the devil says goodnight" intertwined with it. The goat head, the ram head on the man, and the crows and everything like that. It's brimming to the like oozing witchcraft occult, but it also does touch on religion and religious ideals with regards to Adam and his devout priest ways that he is struggling with, what he wants and versus what he feels that he should do as a priest. He wants to be with Emil, he wants to ride that D, but he, you know, wants to be a priest as well. He wants to do good, he wants to, you know, kind of inspire others. So it's got a lot of religious theming, both witchcraft, occult, religions, paganism, as well as Catholicism as well. And then rankings. So this is going to be a grand slam of a ranking. We'll go through the same categories as we have. So starting off with the plot, 4.5 stars right off the bat. 4.5 stars right off the bat. I enjoyed this so much. I read this, like I said, when I was in Oklahoma, going abroad on a trip with my family. I devoured it on the airplane. I devoured it in the, waiting area, the gates for the airplane, the freaking hot tubs in the hotel that we stayed at. This was phenomenal read. Absolutely love the plot. The characters as well. I enjoyed the characters. This is a full 5 stars. I really like Emil and I really like Adam. The town as a character, which I will include here, phenomenal. The lead bishop, whoever is in charge of the church that he's going to, Adam's going to, the townspeople, the caretaker of the church, they're all phenomenal. It's definitely a good read. Definitely a good reading. As far as the writing style, though, K.A. American might be one of my favorite authors that I've been reading so far in terms of these romance novels. There's another one that I'll actually be recommending that I think that I know they wrote as well, but I'll also be recommending another author that I love. But the writing style is great. It's descriptive. It gives you that sense of mystery. It gives you that sense of forebodingness. The sex scenes are great, which we'll get into, but the whole writing style is phenomenal. It's full of passion. It's full of love for what they do here, and I love this so much. And then the sex scenes, 4.5 stars again. Like loved the relationship between these two. Even when we get into like the more demonic aspects of the possession and the old god stuff, this was phenomenal. I enjoyed the dynamic this whole book had with both Adam and Emil, the relationship of, they want this, but do they want this or not? Is Adam fine with this? Like, is he going to be okay with giving up his kind of dreams of being in the church? So as far as overall, absolutely 5 stars. This is my epitome of a 5-star book for sure. I enjoyed this way too much for reading this in the company of my family. I was on a plane reading this, devouring every word, and I was loving every minute of it. It's so well written, it's so well paced, it gets you with that mystery from the beginning. It's amazing, and I thoroughly will recommend this to anybody who's into romance. If you're into dark paranormal romances, this is the book for you. And then as far as recommendations that I have another one by K.A. American, The Wrong Way Home. This is the Criminal Delights series that they have. This is the Wrong Way Home. This follows Colin and Taryn. Colin is on his way home from university, but he takes a wrong turn, if you will, and he falls in the hands of Taryn, who is a kind of he's kind of living alone. He's getting on a company, attachments, liability. And so he's kind of a very stoic man's man, kind of by himself out in the woods. But yeah, so it's solid. This one's definitely a shorter read than the one I'm recommending, Where the Devil Says Goodnight. This is also on the darker side. This is definitely a dark romance. But yeah, so the warning on the back of the book, I just want to give this for you guys now, is these books are for adult readers who enjoy stories where lines between right and wrong get blurry. High heat, twisted, and tantalizing. These are not for the faint-hearted. And I agree with that. This is good. This is essentially Colin falling captive for Taryn, who captures Colin because he sets foot on his property. And it's solid. I enjoy, again, K. American, maybe my favorite author that I've been reading so far. The other favorite author that I've had is Daryl Banner, who does the Spruce, Texas romance series. This is the Born Again Sinner. This is less dark, if dark romance is not your thing. This is more fluff, slice of life kind of thing. But this is where a preacher's son falls in love for the war vet who has baggage, trauma, etc., who the town kind of writes off as this aggressive shut-in, if you will. And yeah, the whole plot takes place in a fictional town, Spruce, Texas, and it's solid. Daryl Banner, again, a solid author, one of my favorites that I've been reading since I've been doing these kind of book hauls, if you will, that I've been buying for myself but sharing with nobody. So I would definitely recommend it. It's, again, way lighter, but it does touch on religious themes. This town is also very open to homosexuality, where the priest is an openly gay man, and I don't believe it's Catholicism. I think it's Christianity that they focus on in here, but it's a much lighter story. So if, again, dark romance is not your thing, definitely go for Born Again Sinner. But if you like dark romance and if you like living on the edge, Wrong Way Home or anything by K.A. American in those kind of Criminal Delight series is great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed making these way too much, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.